This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Yes! Here we go. Follow the money. Paulie Howard, Mike Paul, Mitch back Tuesday. We got a lot going on, folks. Playoff picture. Props, the debacle last night. We just had a fantastic finish in a bowl game. Adam Chernoff, about 12 picks coming heavy in an hour. Rapid fire with Adam in a weird week with a ton of injuries. Playoff implications. Mike Somich in studio. Picks, props. Mike is a parent. I hope I'm never a parent, but we have something to kick around coming up as well. As his son Matthew was 9 years old and playing hockey. We got a lot to get to with win-lose as well. How you doing, Maestro? Palm Readers Unite!
Nice to have you. Did you enjoy your vacation? I know you had a long break there.
Yes, sure.
Took 2 days off.
Two
days off. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Good to be here.
Appreciate it. How about the finish we just had? So Navy was a 10-point dog, closed pick'em, and it comes down to the 2-point try against Oklahoma. How big was that swing for Circa?
It was huge. We needed over 42.5, and we at least needed Oklahoma to win the game to save the last bets from the last 4 hours before kick. So, and I was watching in Derek's office, and I said, as the clock got under 40 seconds, I said, Venables going for 2 here. If we do get in, Venables is going. He doesn't want to play any more minutes in this game against Navy. But what surprised me is that was their play. I mean, you could be very creative on a 2-point play.
Yeah.
How do you not give Navy a penalty? The whole team rushed on the field with 6 seconds left.
It was Toledo.
Toledo did it twice, but they just think the game was over. There was time on the clock here. It was only relevant because if you're doing the onside from the 50, you recover, you might just free kick the field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a shot.
Yeah.
But no, it was a bad swing, $500,000 swing.
Oh.
Because you win. You at least win Oklahoma the last few bets and the over. So and there was a lot of in-game under-pounding, too. Oklahoma's 14 points the first 7 minutes of the game. Don't score again until 7 seconds left against an undersized Navy defense. Nice job, Venables.
Sure.
Nice job.
Sure, right. The 95-yard touchdown, that'll get you, too. So last night as well, with the Bulls were wild last night. Arkansas State wins. Good call by Tim Murray, the tight end, at 17 catches for Bowling Green, and then that Kansas State-Rutgers game was crazy.
Yeah, Butch Jones and Arkansas State. Remember, we couldn't figure out how 7-4
right.
Arkansas State was a 4-point home dog to ODU. Paul Stone said they're the worst 7-4 team ever. They come out and they beat Bowling Green, and then that was a wildly entertaining game in Phoenix between Rutgers and Kansas State.
Yeah,
they were 17 down in the second half. Kansas State rallied to win.
I don't want any negativity here. I thought last night was awesome, and I couldn't get enough. And a big reason why was because of the prop tickets and, of course, Survivor. And Scott Tribuco with his ticket that he sold and still had 5% left. And David Baker, who was on the pregame show, was one of 6 people on the Bears. And with the Survivor implications and $14 million and how that played out, I just couldn't get enough. Number one, people, I'm not saying, I didn't question people. I just found it surprising every time I talk to people in Chicago and they say, nope, it's Bears and then the Cubs with the pecking order. Unbelievable fans. It's raining. They've lost 9 in a row. It's the final home game. It's cold. They're into it. The stadium's packed. Great job. And what they've had to go through with that organization. And I love to sell the team chance as well. But then the drama and the clock management again. The in-play total got as low as 12.5. The Bears ran 6 plays. And then 4th and inches from the 39. Whoops, false start. Oh, I'm going to punt. Nope, timeout. Going to go for it. Brown after the game. I wasn't confused. I just changed my mind. Then 45 seconds go off the clock after Odunze has a catch for 15 yards. They cross midfield with 1:05 left. Somehow, again, clock is an issue, and they were just going to be a dog to get in field goal position. We're not going to try a 57-yard field goal at any point during the game. And then a vicious beat. Williams throws the interception
on the last play of the game.
On the last play of the game. But it's like, you got to be kidding me with the clock management, and you lose 6-3, and you've lost 10 in a row.
Mitch had a good tweet. He said somewhere Matt Eberflus is thinking, I couldn't have screwed up the clock management this bad.
I know.
The sad thing, if you like Thomas Brown, is that this interim job will forever keep him out of being a head coach.
Yeah,
from
right.
this sample size of his work here, right? I mean, it's awful.
How are they so bad with this? And it's just
his team was 4-2, Paul.
Yeah,
Remember when they were 4-2?
They can playoffs.
They're going
right?
to playoffs. They're going
Williams
to playoffs.
looks great. I know. So that everything you had there, and I really thought that 6-6 tie was in play. They kicked the field goal, and then we go to overtime, and it's a hound's breakfast then. And then everyone gets eliminated.
We're down to 14 in Survivor.
That's
if
right.
It's a tie.
So how about the gentleman you watched the game with? And
Senior Wiggles. He did well. He had one of the 20 Seattle tickets last night, or his entry on Seattle, and he didn't take the Bears money line. He had a nice hedge on the Bears +4. He hit the middle. It's perfect. He was here. He was so excited. So instead of blowing what he invested almost $20,000 on the ticket, he picks up $17,000 on it. So I mean that's a great story too. There was so many ways to play it. I mean, if you got home with the Chiefs in the first game, I mean you're unloading on a Ravens Seahawks money line parlay, right?
Damn right.
And hoping you lose one or two legs of it.
Damn right.
Because of the implied value of the tickets. And meanwhile, 34, Paul, I think we're going to have 25 plus guys that go 20-0 here.
You do?
I really do. I think there's enough spots. Some things depend. I mean, if Denver beats Cincinnati, like what are there going to be? 3 meaningful games week 18?
Good point. There might not be many.
People aren't going to be playing. I mean, you still have Denver left. If they need to play for something, Kansas City obviously doesn't. We've seen how they play these in the past. So there's some spots. There's some spots this week. A couple people still have Philly left. They still have Buffalo left.
How big
to get through?
Well, more of this coming up, but how big to chop? Right?
Yeah.
Can you chop 20 ways? It's worth $420,000 now.
430 something, right?
34 left. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people have some great entries available on Sunday
Rams,
now too.
Most people still have the Rams against.
Ton of Colts.
Yeah, Colts as well.
So the other thing was no touchdown again. For the second, did Kirk Herbstreit really say when's the last time we had a game without a touchdown? I mean, knowing him, he could have been serious. But for the second time in 3 Thursdays, we get the no touchdown. It was 500-1 at the Westgate a couple weeks ago with the 12-6 fiasco with the Rams, and then it happens again. It was 140-1 here at Circa, closed 120-1.
Close to 120.
Jeff Benson. They wrote 8 tickets here at Circa. Biggest bet, $176 at 135-1. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
How about that?
Oh, God. They closed 80-1 down the street at the Westgate. And again, we talked about it on the pregame show.
It did get bet down.
Why would you? It's not going to happen again. It can't. Total of 44, 43, something like that. And wouldn't you know it, here it is again. You got one called back and one, no, he was down, and then the other one called back with a penalty. It's just, I cannot believe this cashes again. And I know it's going to be, for the people not involved with the betting and everything, but that was a dumpster fire, and it was unbelievable TV, because you're going to be sitting there in June when it's the Mariners and the Cubs or whatever, and be like, oh, boy, I can't wait to pay. I would pay $50 right now to watch Texans and Jaguars. You're damn right you would, because that was delicious. How about Michael's point now? We've had a 6-3 before.
Mariners over White Sox.
Yes, back-to-back
I
games.
was waiting for Herbstreit to make the argument the Bears should be in the playoffs because the NFC North is so tough.
Yes. Not bad. Not bad. That had everything. Everything. Were you thinking tie?
I really was.
Definitely.
Well, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes in overtime is 3 possessions in the NFL, right?
Uh-huh.
If the Bears could have got it into field goal range, I think the tie was really in play there. And then everybody would just be so upset about Survivor rule. And everybody would just complain.
I know, because you have to win.
They're still complaining about the Lions and the Steelers in that monsoon a couple of years ago, right? About the tie. Stormy brings it up. Her dad got knocked out on that game.
Okay, that's unfortunate. What do we do with Williams now? Okay, this is a tough discussion, because you give him Ben Johnson or even Kingsbury and then talk to me. But this coaching staff is so bad, embarrassing, inept, all of it. You didn't have a chance with Waldron and Brown with this ridiculous duo that he's had, along with Eberflus. But again, the offensive line's horrendous. He's running for his life. But every play is either a 1-yard pass. He didn't complete a pass beyond 7 yards till the final drive. It's ridiculous. What are you doing? Like Fitzpatrick called him out after the game. Are you worried about your interception streak? Why aren't we taking shots down the field? But it's either I'm running backwards or I just sprint out to the right every single play.
He runs himself into some of those sacks as well.
Yes.
Now, what's he been sacked the 4th most times in the history of football, the NFL? That's amazing.
Yeah. But why isn't there anything quick? Not behind the line of scrimmage.
We said that.
Bam, slant. Bam, out. Something fast. It never happens.
Same thing with Fields, though. Fields went through this for 3 years. They don't design any easy plays for them. Quick and over the middle stuff like that, nothing.
Yeah.
They have all the weapons. Dunse's terrific.
Allen's good, yes, certainly. More, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable. Up at the tight end. Komet's on a milk
Yeah,
cart.
Cole Kmet.
How about you use him? Don't even get him involved.
They paid him, and he's not even call his name.
I don't understand it. There's too much talent there. And to look like that, and now you're going to get rolled in Green Bay. You're going to finish on an 11-game losing streak after what you were thinking playoffs and the win in London against Jacksonville and how well he played? What would you do? It's got to be an offensive guy, right?
I go on the Chicago media. I do a couple hits in there. It's been like this now for 6 weeks, and that's all they talk every day. It's all they talk about is how bad this team is. It depresses the city when a team
Poles
goes
has
through.
to go. Listen, Poles
how are you
going to
let Poles pick the next head coach?
Well said.
Come on.
Can't do it.
No.
Yep. But if Johnson wants the job, give Johnson the job.
It's his.
He can fix this guy, and certainly you'd look like a competent offense. And the gadget stuff and the creativity that he can design. And you should have done it last year. The worst thing that happened was the winning streak, again, to close the year, and they had to bring him back, how competitive they were. Unbelievable. No touchdown, 140-1. In play as low as 12.5. Could there be a tie? 6-3, all of it. Will Seattle cover? Oh. And the Bears get the money, even though they score 3 points. Imagine that. 10 in a row, and the interception streak ends. Cannot believe it. We'll update you on the bowl games. Great action here today. And we'll get to Adam Chernoff with picks and props, Mike Somich as well. And Mike has a good breakdown of a key travel angle as well in the NHL. Up next, a triple header. Saturday in the NFL. Playoff implications, picks, props, revenge games. Injury updates keep coming in. It's a tough week to navigate, but I'll tell you about a team that's in action tomorrow that is 0-7 against teams with a winning record. That's straight ahead. VSiN Follow the Money. Paulie Howard, Mike Palm, the Sports Betting Network.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Matt Brown and Mike Somich are on Ready, Set, Bet as they get you ready to make your bets as the last batch of football games kick off.
What I took away from this is I want to bet against the Patriots when they're behind by 2 scores.
We were going, well, I wonder if this team's actually better than we thought. They're not. They just don't have enough talent.
Don't miss out on crucial advice for live betting once the game starts, as well as looking ahead to the upcoming action. Tune in to Ready, Set, Bet, Saturdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, it's coming down fast and furious. Njoku out. Tillman out. Watson restructures his deal with the Browns. Goody gumdrops. He comes back. I thought it was a blessing that he got hurt and his career was over. So still going to try to find a way to get him back out there with the Browns. Neighbors, questionable. Richardson, questionable. Didn't practice all week. Hubbard, questionable. Waddle, banged up. Higgins, questionable. Allen, in for Washington. Hurts out. It's going to be Pickett. Otten, Shepard, Winfield, out for Tampa. Am I missing anybody? Oh, Dobbins. Looks like he's going to go for the Chargers. That is huge to hit him back off from IR. And we start with that game with the triple header. The early game, Chargers 4.5, 42 against the Patriots. Chargers win, they're in. Minus 4,000 to make the playoffs. Denver minus $8. Cincinnati plus 750. No shot. I mean, they have to win out. They need a Miami loss. They need a Indianapolis loss. Come on. Colts 9-1, Miami 14-1. But I just think with the extra time here, and it's a different offense and rushing attack with Dobbins, that I get Herbert time to rest that ankle as well, and the defense will do a better job than May really can't test him. May's good, but the weapons aren't there. A Henry revenge game. I like Henry over going against his former team with his receiving yards. But to me, I got to trust Harbaugh here against Mayo, and I get my big back, knowing that if I win, I'm in.
I thought it was surprising to me that they came back and beat Denver. I thought Denver was in control of that game on Thursday night.
I had no problem
in L.A., and they just came back and took control of the game and did a good job. I will say this May is going to end up being a really good quarterback. I was out on him going into the draft. He's very talented, but the coach has no clue either. I mean, how does he?
They're all over him in New England.
No clue.
No,
the guy's got no clue.
Terrible.
He's bad. He's bad.
Yeah.
So
very conservative. Won't go for it, and loves kicking field goals. Punting.
And ran the ball on the goal line. And then why did he onside? He had 3 timeouts. It makes no sense. Punted on that cowardly punt index. That was in the 96% of cowardly punts.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. But this has been a dynamite offense and rushing attack, and then Dobbins got hurt. But I think with him coming back, there's going to be a big ground game and an aerial assault for the Chargers here. Now, you dive into the extended rest, it's 60% going back since 2003. We got that Saturday road game and extended rest. That's from Evan Abrams. But the defense, I wonder about after what Knicks did to them and how they've struggled, especially against Cincinnati. 24th in EPA per play, 20th success rate, 24th in drop back as well. The issues that they've had defensively, Herbert 12-32 and 2 ATS in the second half when leading at halftime. And
but that's also with the coaching staff he
That's
had.
A great point.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's kind of like the old Belichick stuff without Brady.
That's with Staley and Anthony Lynn.
Yep. But also when you play man defense against Herbert, and the Patriots play a lot of man, he's 29th QBR against man. That surprised me. But I don't think I think the Chargers defense can get right here, and May has turned it over 7 games in a row as well. Another reason I like Henry, 8+ targets, 4 of his last 5 games. Big on the Chargers. Anything there, Mike?
You laid it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Got that? All right. No,
we have 3 NFL games and 8 bowl games tomorrow.
Too much.
Madness. Come on. 8 games?
I know. And
They're kicking games at like 9 o'clock local time?
I know. I'm with you. Especially the bowl games. Spread it out.
Come
on. Spread it out.
And then you got one on Monday. Iowa and Missouri is the only game on Monday.
Are you furious about 2 late games Sunday? That's unacceptable. I'm surprised you're not pissed off about that.
And really, listen, I hate to say this because people are in love with those 2 teams. The game doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean anything to the Packers. It means not everybody's the game of the year. The Packers are going to be the 5, 6, or maybe even the 7. I think they're going to win against the Bears, so they're going to be the 5 or the 6.
Yep.
Right? It's not meaningful. It's simply not meaningful. So, and then if Minnesota wins, Detroit doesn't have to win because the last game will come down to it. But Campbell said we're going all in. It doesn't matter what the Vikings do on Sunday afternoon. We're going all in at San Francisco. So that's an interesting thing. Yeah, how do you have 2 games? Mm-hmm. The perfect is 7-5. They never want to give you 7-5. They want to give you 10-3 and all this. Well, now what do we got? 6-2.
I know.
Okay, great.
I know. When they had Dobbins, 118 yards a game on the ground without 74.5 the last 4 games. but the big shot in the arm to get him back. Here's the middle game I was talking about. Your big boy. The Higgins banged up, and that's big because what does that mean for Chase? Because you put Surtain on Chase. The last time they met, he held him to 1 catch. He has allowed only 230 yards receiving the entire season, what this guy has done. Here was my tease. Cincinnati 0-7 this year against teams with a winning record. They have averaged 30 points per game, though, in all of those losses because the defense is so bad. Knicks is 6-2 ATS on the road. Denver winning in. Peyton has been dynamite in this spot. 33, 16-1 ATS as a road dog going back since 2018. He's also phenomenal with extended rest, 63%. They are 3-0 straight up in ATS this year with extended rest. I think this is the game where maybe Burrow doesn't go off. You can put the shutdown corner on Chase. Higgs banged up and or limited, and I just can't trust this defense to get any stops. That hook, and if you could have grabbed the 3.5 earlier, that hook's going to be big in this game.
Are you going to play under on the Chase props?
You have to. He's
right?
He's high 90s. Now, he's got the Triple Crown, which if he pulls that off, it's been Sterling, Sharp, Rice, Kupp to do that. So if he can pull off the Triple Crown, but I think that's a great opportunity here to go under with what he's seen is in the mid to low 90s when a guy is a shutdown corner.
Here's what I know, Paul, from watching the Browns and Bengals last week. The Bengals did everything they could to keep the Browns in the game, everything they could to let them get backdoor cover. DTR can't play. He cannot play.
Yep.
That Cleveland is in full tank mode. That's what that tells me. That they didn't go to Jameis there with a chance to get back into that game and kept putting DT out there. Cleveland has no interest in winning another game. They're trying to improve their draft stock.
Mm-hmm. He is horrendous, no doubt. Denver, number 1 in the league in sacks.
Anarumo's defense is horrendous.
Yeah, that's right. What happened?
This guy 5 years ago was one of the greatest defensive coordinators in the game. They're terrible.
Yep.
And Michael Lombardi never wanted to hold him accountable. I always say, he says, but the Baloo, but the players, this and that. No, his defense is bad. It's been bad for 3 years.
Yep.
They're awful.
Yep.
And here Burrow's going to go through a career with a bad defense.
Unacceptable for them to miss the playoffs. Absolute embarrassment. And it looks like it's going to happen. That's your middle game. How about the late game? Boy, are you paying a tax on the Rams now with the win and in situation, right? Well, there's also 4 teams would have to win to clinch strength of tiebreaker victory as they ran down last night as well, so that's funky. But there's $7 to win the division. They got hammered the first time in Arizona. There was no Puka. McVay is on a 15-2 ATS run in December. Got it done again on the road. Defense is playing better. But, Kyler Murray loves this. He relishes being a dog. He's been great. Cashing tickets ATS. Connor banged up, though, but can they slow them down? And Stafford did throw the pick last week, but he's been taking care of the ball. But boy, oh boy, we're getting carried away here with the point spread. What you're seeing now, 7s on the Rams with the winning in the late game. What do you think?
I laid 5.
Okay.
Do you buy into anything that the Cardinals have had the Rams number in the regular season through the years? I don't, because it doesn't mean anything to the Cardinals anymore. The Cardinals are out. They lose in Carolina, and now they're out of the playoff.
Yeah, playing for pride.
What happened if the Rams would play the Packers? Nobody loses. McVay doesn't lose, and LaFleur doesn't lose in December. If they ever played in December, something's got to give.
Yeah.
I like them. Not now. This is another runaway line. It's like the Ravens were on Christmas Day, a runaway line.
Yeah.
I passed now on this number, but I laid the 5 earlier because they had a win. You've got to win and clinch it.
Yep, open 3. Yep. Murray is a dog, 31-17-2 ATS run. You look at McBride props again. He was all well documented, 92 catches, no touchdowns, and everything they tried to do to get him in the end. Get him involved last week, but couldn't slow down Bryce Young as well. But I think Puka can have a big game. 81% chance the Rams get the 3 seed. Seattle, 19%. And change.
That could be Packers at Rams, which is a replay of a game earlier in the year at SoFi.
These NFC playoff games are going to be fire. What, Washington, Philly, maybe?
How about you?
Packers,
you might have even Minnesota at Tampa is a very interesting game, right? If that's the 5-4.
Yeah, they're all good.
Yeah, they're all good. They're all good.
Right, and the Packers could win 13 games and finish in 3rd place or whatever. 12, 13 games, 3rd place team. Lunacy, right? But those are good props as well. And Kupp is 50.5. And you go back and listen to the podcast with the app. The breakdown Paul Charchian had on Kupp under, beautiful. Dynamite, baby. So triple header on tomorrow. Playoff implications, all the injuries. And hang on to these because we're running out of them. Next week, that's it. So good triple header here, but a lot of great angles. And also stuff coming down with the contest as well. Good stuff. Holiday, baby. And New Year right around the corner. Sign up now. Everything We offer VSiN.com, every best bet, every host, every guest, the betting splits, DraftKings, Circa, the dog videos, the betting guides. Make this holiday season unforgettable with the gift of smarter betting. VSiN.com/subscribe. Unwrap your winning edge today. Again, loaded every time you go up there. Nigel with soccer, Cohen, NBA, NFL, Mackinnon, Burke, bowl games. Everything's up there. The hub, check it out. And the prop analyzer, awesome. How about Barkley, 11-3 overrun with the rushing yards. Irving, 11-3 overrun. Richardson, 9-2 underrun with the passing yards. It's all right there for you with the prop analyzer, which everyone loves. We'll get to the marquee games. What's going to happen with Philly at quarterback? And Mike poo-pooed it. But the big Minnesota-Green Bay game coming up next. VSiN, follow the money.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup, then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
777's in the bowl game. 7 minutes to go till halftime. 7-7, Vandy, Georgia Tech. Navy beat Oklahoma 21-20 earlier. Carr out, Kamara out. Hill, Waddle, questionable. Doesn't get any bigger than Packers Vikings. So, no, this is a great game, though. But I understand your point about why were the Vikings an underdog and the respect here for Green Bay, even though Minnesota wins out, they're the 1 seed. If Minnesota wins, be the 4th sweep last 25 years. Darnold's on a heater. 15-1 touchdown INT ratio the last 6 games. Green Bay's good, but swept by Detroit, blown out at home by Detroit, lost at home to Minnesota, lost in Brazil to the Eagles. It's like, yeah, okay, not bad, but if they were a college football team, I'd kind of question the resume, right? But still, like you said, and you've been on Chicago radio and Iowa radio, they're good, but they're going to have to win 3 road games, and that's going to be tough to do. And as much as you like Love, is the turnover coming or the bad decision coming at some point? It happened in the first meeting, and nobody blitzes more than the Vikings and Flores. Now, he's been good lately against the blitz, but we'll see if he makes a mistake, and maybe it'll probably come down to what quarterback makes a mistake Sunday afternoon.
The first game was in Green Bay. Warm weather still, and the Vikings bolted out to a big lead.
Right.
I think he got picked off twice, Love. And then the second half was Packers. They came charging back, and the Vikings had to hold off the rally. Paul, I think this has been Matt LaFleur's best coaching job by far, bar none. And he won't get a sniff for Coach of the Year. But he's had a terrific job. He won the 2 games without Love.
Did a good
right?
job.
Running a single T.
Yep.
I mean, he's done a very, very good. The special teams are improved.
Good point. In the first game, Narveson missed 2.
Yes.
And McManus is 16-17.
McManus for a 56-yarder in the freeze. He just banged it right through.
Yeah.
This guy came a flight to London away from being out of the league. Right? I mean, right? He was.
Yeah,
he was going to be done, and now he might be a key weapon in the playoffs.
Is McManus the bad guy in Usual Suspects?
Oh.
Is that the guy with the... Okay, but that's... Yeah, right. He's been huge. And that could decide this game as well with special teams. But it's how do you not take the Vikings at home here with what's on the line and how good they've been, only losing at home once to Detroit, and how well Darnold's playing, and it's all right there.
You've got the 1 seed right in front of you.
It's right there for you.
Right there for you.
Right. And plus Green Bay's smelling themselves coming off the blowout win as well. Mm-hmm. Are you surprised by the point spread?
I couldn't believe it. Never here. We got to a pick at one point, but in other books yesterday,
Caesars had Green Bay won.
Very disrespectful. I thought it was very disrespectful to them. It could be a rallying cry for them.
Yeah.
It could be a rallying. It's like the Cowboys being the dog at Carolina. I think that got the team together. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was the only time Carolina played a bad game in the last 7 weeks was when they were the favorite.
Yeah, it's a tough game, though. And I don't know what to make of the total either. But that first game was so wonky as well. I just figure one of the quarterbacks could make a big turnover. We'll have a big turnover and could decide it. And Detroit minus 285 to win the division. How about the Sunday night game? You're fired up. So McLaurin looks like he's good to go. Mm-hmm. Atlanta, allowing the 3rd most fantasy points to wide receivers and wide receiver number 1. 6 of the last 7 Atlanta games have gone under. And Daniels was beautiful, awesome last week against that Eagles defense. You saw what Nix did. You saw what Darnold did. You saw what Mayfield did. How does Daniels in Washington not just go up and down the field against this Atlanta defense? And I got Dan Quinn against a rookie quarterback making his first road start. Why 4? Why only 4? Love Washington.
I love Washington, too. You know, Atlanta is a big dog to Tampa Bay to win the division, even though they win it if it ended today because they beat them twice with the same record. Atlanta must lose for Tampa Bay to be able to win the division. Tampa's minus 210 to win the division. So what does that tell you? Atlanta's I do agree with Lombardi here. Mm-hmm. They're a very fraudulent team. They're bad defensively. Yep. And now, at least, I know.
This is the game changer, though. If the kid's good, because you see how many weapons they have.
He wasn't good last week,
Well,
Paul. Did you watch that game?
Yeah,
the
but
Giants handed them the
though,
game.
Right?
I mean, I could have won that game. Maybe that's hyperbole, but I could have won the game behind center for Atlanta against the Giants. I thought his timing was off. I don't think he looked crisp like he did at Washington. And now you got to go on the road. That will be a hostile atmosphere here. I think the game could get out of hand.
That bad?
I do. I like that. This is my best bet.
Yep. Okay, I'm with you. Mm-hmm. And they should be able to go up and down the field. No doubt. They should have Zero
You got
resistance
to give
from this
Washington
Atlanta
a
defense.
lot of credit for coming back against Philly. They did everything to hand Philly the game, but they still had to put those drives together in the second half against Philly, whose defense has been very good for 2 months.
Yep. We'll get to props later in the show. One prop you have to love is everything involved with Adams. He continues 11-plus targets, 4 games in a row, and now the relationship's over with Wilson, no longer best friends. It's been nothing but Adams. And since 2020, the Jets are 5-23 in the division. The Bills are 23-5. And, of course, the Bills beat them in that earlier meeting. Big for Allen in the MVP. $2 favorite against Lamar. And we'll see if they bounce back after that bad performance against the Patriots. But, again, the Jets, ask Woody, am I coming back with Rodgers? Jets playing out the string. The Bills should get whatever they want offensively here. Anything they want. The Rams... So a lot of it was Stafford didn't have to throw the ball because they were just pushing them off and dominating the line of scrimmage and getting 5 yards a carry last week. What do you think the Bills are going to do?
That game was an hour ahead of other games. It was like a running clock game.
Run. That's right. Yeah, that's right. So with the history here and with Allen MVP as well.
That's the big thing, Paul. How much does he need to do to win MVP? Does he need to have 2 good games down the stretch? Does he need to play next week if they're locked into the 2?
I think so,
Do you play him?
Well, I don't know if they'll do that, but I'm saying Lamar, Lamar will go off against Cleveland.
Let me ask you this question. If this vote was actually the most valuable player to your team, obviously Allen is. If you take Allen off this team, I don't think they're a playoff team, even with a mediocre division.
Yeah.
But if it was just most outstanding player, who would you vote for? Would you?
Lamar.
Lamar's had a better year.
Yeah.
Right?
Look at the stats.
Yeah. That's what I'm. But if you want to say most valuable.
Yeah, I know.
But Lamar came down after the Christmas game. He's tightened up the race here.
Big movement, huge.
Big move, yeah, right.
This is like the Darnold thing.
Yeah.
Darnold should win Most Improved. Darnold shouldn't win Comeback Player of the Year.
I don't think he meets the criteria, does he?
I'm with you. I know,
but there's others that argue he does.
Yeah, it's going to be a mess.
The criteria was the worst thing they ever did.
And changing that, That's right. How about Eagles and Cowboys here? So it's going to be Pickett, Hurts out, no Lamb. Oh, Barkley props. Dallas is 28th against the run. He needs 268 yards to break Dickerson's record. Good for Dickerson. Hey, are you rooting for him? Hell no. I don't want him to break the record. His prop is 111.5. Think about that. But he should go off here against the Dallas defense. And again, for the 24th straight year, we won't have a repeat champ in the NFC East.
That's wild. Is that the most wild stat in sports?
I think so. So we're at 7-38 now. Kudos to Big Mike. He's done a nice job here. And as you pointed out during the break, how big was the Leon let? Get away from it. Fire. I mean, if that doesn't happen, touch the ball.
They're already in Aubrey field goal range if you just let the ball go down.
Sure. So Barkley over. Obviously, Dallas' longest made field goal. I can trust the guy, no
Elliott's
problem.
2 for 9 from beyond 50?
Yeah, come on.
Is that possible?
Merry Christmas with that prop. That's available at DraftKings and other places.
What's the minus there for Dallas to make the longest field goal? It's got to be a pretty big price.
No, it was.
Less than 120?
Yeah. It's like I think it's only $1.30 when I looked.
Really?
But I got props coming out of my ears. But this one certainly fits just because of how Mike will go conservative. You can trust the guy from 58. But this is just Pickett was okay when he came in. He's been in the league. Again, if Smith catches the ball, they're going to win the game. So I trust him here. And Dallas is down their key weapon. And I think the Philly defense is going to be pissed off and angry for that performance and blowing the double-digit lead against Washington. What do you think of the adjustment with the line now?
I just think Pickett's like an ideal backup quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's good. I'm not sure Zimmer's defense is good enough to even key on Barkley and stop him. Even if they want to say, we're taking Saquon out of the game and make Pickett. I don't know if they're good enough, Paul. You have to give the offense credit. The offense has been full of life here for the last 3 weeks. They've been able to run the ball a little bit. I like Philly, though, in this spot.
A lot of teaser possibilities.
Yeah, a lot of
here.
teaser
There's
possibilities.
a ton of them. Tampa and Carolina. Don't you think it's too high, though? Again,
way too high. 8?
Yeah, they should have lost the first meeting.
Way too high.
Now, Thielen, they've had a great rapport, Thielen and Young. Thielen's 54.5. Carolina has covered 6 in a row as a dog.
They were by far the better team the first time they played.
Blew the game. Yep.
I think they're live to win this game.
But this is also absolutely.
I'm taking the points because I have Tampa. I have Tampa to make the playoffs. I need Tampa to win the game. I'm going to try to middle it. I took the 8. I have a ticket plus 270 on Tampa for playoffs, not to win the division, because when I bet it, they still could have been in a wild card situation. But so I have to take 8 here.
I'm with you. That's a good angle. And you could get the Washington win Sunday as well. But it screams Evans props with these guys out. But to me, that's too high. And again, remember, Carolina's got a great angle with those first half overs all year. Take VSiN wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app. Never been easier to stay connected to the action, whether you're on your phone, tablet, or even your smart TV. With the VSiN Watch app, 24/7 live access to the audio and video streams, replays of your favorite shows, streamed directly to your smart TV, quick access to clips by sport, tailored to your interest. Don't miss out. VSiN Watch app, stay in the game wherever you are. And the search feature lets you find exactly the insights you're looking for from the VSiN experts. All the props that cashed last night. 2 vicious beats on Moose in the NBA. You won't believe the finish there. No. We'll get to that coming up with Win Some, Lose Some straight ahead. Follow the money.
Got a good thing coming, just wait and see. It's a good.
You spoke, we listened. Introducing the all-new VSiN Watch app. Now, you can watch and listen to VSiN expert analysis live wherever you are. Missed a show? No problem. Catch replays of VSiN's full lineup at any time. View highlights sorted by sport. Or use the search feature to find specific teams and topics you're looking for. And the best part? It's free for a limited time. Download the VSiN Watch app today. Available now on the App Store and Google Play. And join us on the Sports Betting Network. last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
No touchdown. 140-1 at Circa. Closed 120-1. Closed 80-1 at Westgate. Again, 8 tickets here at Circa. The biggest bet, $176 at 135-1. Unbleeping believable. 6-3 Seattle. Vicious if you had the Bears and Survivor as well. 6 people go home. Can't cash that ticket. You can't advance. I hope you hedged. Scoreless quarter, 3-1. Alt under 35.5 plus 210. Arkansas State, Butch Jones carried off the field, plus 330. Upsets Bowling Green. Toledo plus 240. And the Nets were 2-1. They beat the Bucks. Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends. At Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on. Great video here of the dogs. Rapid fire. It's a long one. Of highlights of... They got the wrong guy. Oh, no, he grabs the turkey. It's just one after another. A dog's grabbing food off the table, the counter, the desk, whatever it may be. And the guy starts off with the turkey. The other guy jumps up and grabs it. The other guy's doing a handstand. Here's the French bulldog grabbing the chicken McNuggets off the table. Look at this teamwork, baby. He's standing on the other dog's back on top of the stove, getting in here. Is that another French bulldog? He's a good-looking guy. He jumps up as well. This guy's on the kitchen table, on the coffee table. Here, look at this one. Oh, the golden retriever. And this guy's so big, he can just jump up and put his face in the sink and get in the pasta, it looks like, how big these guys are. At Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. What a highlight reel. And Andre will put this up later. This is just phenomenal. Rapid fire, dogs stealing food, jumping in the sink, taking food off the kitchen counter, whatever. Oh, dynamite. Dynamite, baby. So good. I can't believe the guy just taking the turkey right off the start. Unbelievable. Lose some. Bears outscored 43-0 last 5 games in the first quarter. Nets, Bucks under 216.5, down to 204.5. 111-105. Bad for the Bucks. Seahawks opened 1.5, closed 4.5, fell 3. Toledo from 9 down to 6.5. Outright. Navy earlier today from 10 down to pick. They won. Bad beats. Did you see this? The Bulls were getting 6.5 last night. They led Atlanta. They were up 16 with 5 minutes left. They lost the game by 8. In regulation.
How did the Hawks score 31 in the last 5 minutes?
Yeah, good point. It was 50-25 in the fourth quarter. But what happened in the last 5-6 minutes? That's impossible. That's a moose and a half. It's one of the worst beats you're ever going to see. I'm getting 6.5. I'm up 16 with 5 minutes. The game doesn't go to overtime. I can't cover. Pacers plus 5, covering the entire game. And then the last minute, whoops. They had the lead with 3 minutes left. And couldn't cover.
Hadn't they won like 5 or 6 in a row heading into that game, the Pacers?
I don't know.
I think so.
Okay. And Caleb Williams, no interception. The prop. Had that.
Just throw it straight up. Throw it straight up into the air.
Throws it. Last play, the streak's over. 4th down. Yeah, sure, why not? Oh, God. How they got me on that one. Should have been a 3-0 night. Kiss my ass. Our friends at First Bet have you covered. If you want some action, sign up today, unlock exclusive promotions, watch and wager on hundreds of exciting horse races every day across the country and around the world. FirstBet.com, promo code VSiN200. Claim a 20% rebate for your first 60 days up to $200. Head to FirstBet.com today. Yeah. Good to have the maestro here. Put a picture up here. You can tweet at us. At VSiN Live or at Paulie Howard, at Mike Palm Circa. Your son Matthew turned 9 today. It's great.
Happy birthday,
Good for you. Happy birthday, Matthew. Now, I want to tie this in here and hear from our audience. There's Matthew.
There he is. He's snowboarding in Utah with his mother's family
really?
today. Yeah,
what a life. Now, he's a hockey player.
Oh, but he started skating when he was 2, started playing hockey when he was 5.
How many kids you have?
I have 2 and a stepdaughter in between. So 9, 7, and going to be 3 in February.
Okay. And you can also tie this into your childhood and your experience. My question is, when do kids grow up and get out of that phase of being a mama's boy or whining or whatever? Because Shauna's son is 9 and he blows her up nonstop. We're out for her birthday dinner a couple weeks ago, and Mom, I need water. There's no water in the house. Mom, help me out. And it's just nonstop with the calling, and she's got to answer because something could actually happen, right? So it's like, growing up, I never thought, boy, I can't wait to go home and hang out with my parents, right? And then you get to that age where it's like, my parents aren't that cool. I don't want to be around my parents as well. But you made a great point. He's a hockey player. Right. He doesn't whine. But I'm wondering, because I got in trouble because I called the kid soft. I'm wondering, when's this kid going to grow out of this of, Mom, need my mom. Mom, I need something. It's like, I'm just sitting there. It's like the kid's nonstop with the phone calls, and he's 9 years old. I'm like, at what point does this end? And he's going to be like, I don't want to hang with Mom. I want to hang with my fellas. I'm interested in girls, whatever. Or, Mom isn't as cool as I thought, that type of deal.
I think kids should grow up quicker today because they all have their pet. Like, he's calling because he's on his iPad. Does he have his own phone?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awful. But anyhow. But they can call from their iPad too, right? They can call, they can face message, Facebook message, FaceTime, all that stuff. So, I mean, they're more connected now. So, like, for me, it probably wasn't until I was 14 that I really wanted to hang out. And then once you get to drive, it's over, obviously, because you have your independence. Yeah. I got my permit when I was 14. Now, you're supposed to have a parent with you. Then my dad used to go drive. I trusted.
You think it's right around high school in that age?
I think it is.
Don't drop me off at school. I don't want to be seen with you.
Maybe in today's world, it's more junior high. Maybe it's more middle school, 12, 13-ish, because they're just more connected to everything now. We weren't connected. I mean, you would go down to the park and play baseball all day. When it got dark, you went home, right? I mean, now you're constantly connected because of the devices.
Good point. When we were growing up, it's you tell someone your word was your bond, right? Hey, I'll see you at the park at 7 o'clock for football, right?
Exactly.
There was no texting, no phone, whatever. You didn't have that.
Kids showed up.
Now it's just.
But now they can't show up because the mom's got to bring them all in a minivan and all that. We had no adults involved. We can go play on our own, pick teams and go play. Now everything is organized in minivans and leagues and all these people. Kids aren't independent enough.
Yeah. Well, how would you handle this? And also, Matthew doesn't
you have
do
to be
this.
sensitive about the mother.
Yeah.
Because, that she doesn't think you're picking on him because it's not your kid. Uh-huh. But at some point, maybe you get how involved it's also how involved is the other.
He's in Tennessee.
Okay, well then it's better.
But they also spoil the kid because her cousin had a long career in the NBA, and he's generous and he gives the kid whatever. He called the other day about he started to cry because he didn't get his favorite video game.
Oh, come on!
I'm like, you're 9 years old. Well, you get everything you want.
They expect things. They expect it instead of being appreciative. A thank you would be nice once in a while, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying, just in some children. Some children are
it goes
like
for
that.
the mom, too, from time to time.
Yeah.
You're damn right. But with Matthew, though, how do you think it's...
I think he's doing okay.
Well, I know, but he wouldn't... How would you handle if he was doing that?
Oh, I wouldn't allow... That'd be the end of the gifts.
Does he call you a lot?
No, not at all.
Interesting.
He sends me a message. He'll send me a message or a picture or something like that, or tell me. Like when he's with his mom, if something good happens, he'll tell me. Or when he's with me, he won some big award at Kumon and took a picture and sent it to his mom, right? But not constantly, no.
Yeah.
Not constantly at all.
Yeah.
Well, he's pretty independent.
Some people want world peace, whatever, hit a parlay. I'm just waiting for this kid to get out of this phase. And it's just like, okay, I'm going to hang out with my friends. And, hey, Mama, when I see you, I see you. I would never respond. I got grounded once because I didn't check in for like 2 days, and then she grounded. I couldn't watch March Madness Sweet 16 because I didn't reach out for 2 days. I was over at Buddy's house. We were watching the games and ordering pizza.
How old were you?
It was junior high, I think.
Well, maybe you should check in. I mean,
well, okay.
If you're 13 years old, maybe just let him know you're all right for 48 hours.
That was her angle.
48 hours.
I thought the grounding was too severe, though. I think Shaq was at LSU. I couldn't watch the game.
Back then, things didn't happen to children the way they do now either.
Good point.
Do you know what I mean?
Good
now
point.
You got to be worried if the kid goes into the next aisle of the store, they're going to get snatched.
Yeah. Strong.
Quite
interesting. A world. Yeah, it is a world. But that's... You can tweet at us, ftm at vsin.com as well with the email. But when this, I never felt like I can't wait to go home and hang with the parents and do whatever. And it's
the whining is the worst, Paul. The whining.
Yeah.
The whining is intolerable. Once they become like 4 or 5, enough with the whining.
But the constant phone calls and asking for stuff. It's like you're going to be okay. Nothing's going to happen to you. You're at home. You got your brothers and sisters there with you and adult supervision. I mean, Mom's going to be okay. When she's home, she's home.
Mom, I need water.
Yeah.
Into the
I'm dying
babysitter
of
or your
thirst.
older brother or whatever it is there?
I don't know. Got
Need
that.
water.
Can tie it into Uber Eats, too. What a fiasco that can be as well. We had an incident here yesterday. Adam Chernoff up next. Rapid fire. Double shot. 2 segments. Huge week. Plethora of picks and props. We'll get his angle on a tough week. You're paying the tax on some games with the win and in situation. Maybe a weather game or 2 and a ton of injuries as well. Adam Chernoff coming up next. Paulie Howard. Mike Palm. Today and Monday. VSiN, Follow the Money, the Sports Betting Network.
And we're out.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I need to load funds into my gaming